What's your financial goal?
You want more money? Turn what you know into dough. Start hanging out with the people who have it. You create wealth on your own terms. It is not only your rights, but your duty to build wealth.
You are fiscally fabulous.
It's time to enjoy your legacy.
You're listening to Fiscally Fabulous with Dr. Teresa R. Martin, Esquire, a podcast that aims to provide you with the tools, guidance, and encouragement you need to build your wealth, enjoy your wealth, and leave a lasting legacy. Dr. Martin is an accomplished attorney, speaker, business consultant, and real estate strategist, an all-around self-made success who provides highly sought-after expert consulting in the creation, growth, and maintenance of generational wealth.
From 2010 to 2017, the IRS revoked the 501c3 tax-exempt recognition of more than 760,000 nonprofit organizations for failing to report their income. Welcome to Fiscally Fabulous Lifestyle with Dr. Teresa Martin. I am Dr. Teresa Martin, your host, and today we are talking about your nonprofit business is a business. And to help us uncover that, we're going to be speaking with Ms. Keesha Gibson of Gibson Consulting Solutions, LLC.
For many women entrepreneurs, the struggle is real. We arose becoming stronger with every fight. Wealth is what we built from that together. A wealth of resources, a wealth of knowledge, and a wealth of powerful businesswomen. When you are ready to achieve financial freedom and become fiscally fabulous, call. It will not be wealth that empowered your success. It will be this call. EnjoyYourLegacy.com, 646-437-7139.
Welcome back. Today, we are actually talking to Ms. Keesha Gibson about nonprofit business. It is actually a business. Today, we have our special friend, Ms. Keesha Gibson. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
What I want to talk to you about today, Ms. Keesha, because we get down here in Fiscally Fabulous, right? So what I want to talk to you about today is, before we dive into the nonprofit and treating it like a business, tell the audience, what's your experience with nonprofit organizations?
Well, I started working with nonprofits in and outside of nonprofits 25 years ago. I've held several positions, from outreach programming to executive director to also being a board member in nonprofits. And what I grew to learn is that nonprofit organizations, we start these organizations based on our passion, based on, how we feel about the community and wanting to help the community. But for the most part, a lot of nonprofits, they start without being in compliance. And so in my work, I started consulting as a side hustle outside of these positions that I held to help other nonprofits kind of get their business in order, helping them with startup, to helping them develop fundraising plans, organizational management and development plans, and helping them just set a path to growing their nonprofit organizations on
It all started.
the business side.
But it all started.
It all started
As a hustlepreneur.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. We got to keep that clear, right?
Definitely a hustle. And
one of the things I love about what you just said about you started while you still had
I had a position. And in that, I was growing, I was learning myself. So I was able to take that skill set and kind of share it with other organizations, other directors and things like that. Mainly my focus at that time was development and fundraising and getting grants and things like that for these nonprofit organizations. So it was definitely a side hustle up until about 5 years ago.
Wow. And then, wait, before you go into the 5 years, because one of the things that I find fascinating is when we're talking about nonprofits, the hardest part is when we're talking about business development, operational management, and all the things that go along with that. Because the topic of today's show that we're focused on is your nonprofit is a business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in your 5 years, how did you come around, full circle to be able to address?
Well, like I said, 5 years ago, I decided to legitimize the hustle, became an LLC, and I partnered with my team. We partnered with other business owners, small business owners, people of color, who have worked with other nonprofits.
So collaborate.
It's definitely a collaboration. of like-minded business owners. And what we do is we take our experiences and our skills and we triage our client and we help them at the level where they, we start from where they are to help them grow. And I realize it's a definite need because, as you said in your statistic, 760,000 nonprofits, their tax exemption was revoked. And that's due to not being in compliance. And what folks fail to realize is that when you get a 501c3, the misconception is you could just get grants. And that's not the case. The 501c is a tax exemption designation, but there are also 25, what folks don't know. The C3 is just one. There are actually 25. And we help folks realize like where they are and how their organizations fit into the type of tax exemption. And I can give you an example of that. We had a client that had a C6 and filed as a C6 thinking that they could get grants. C6s are membership organizations. They make their revenue from memberships and from sponsorships, not grants. So when they came to us, they were like, we need a grant. It's like, well, this is something that most formal foundations and, the traditional foundations and groups don't fund. So we kind of help them figure that out and help them get redesignated, I guess you could say, with the tax exemption. So it's one of the challenges that we see often.
And I love the fact that you mentioned, Keesha, about the misconception and the misunderstanding. And one of the things when I speak to people from a business standpoint, they have this passion project that they now want to create the nonprofit organization. And all they talk about is the 501c3, right? So the fact that you said that there are 25 other designations underneath the 501c, that's very important for people to know. So I'm really hoping that our audience agrees. Yes, because that's really important because you don't know what you're trying to do because you have to actually think about how you're going to get the money and how you're going to fund before you actually go and form your nonprofit. So I really love that. And I really think the audience will really benefit just from that clarification, from you. So I know before we go to the break, I want to get this out, right? I want to make sure everyone understands the fact that, who is the number one, I guess, offender of, not forming or forming or going into non-compliance, if you will. Who is that number one?
As far as organization type, I would say business owners, entrepreneurs that they have business ideas and they look to having a nonprofit to support the for-profit part of it or their lifestyle. Because getting a 501c3 doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a grant. And if you do, you have to be in compliance and tell your donors and contributors how you're going to spend the money. And I would say mostly entrepreneurs that start their nonprofits just to start it and thinking they can get a grant.
We're going to continue to that. Yeah. Let's get ready to get deep.
Yes.
So we will be right back and continue this great conversation about nonprofit organizations and how you can get it right.
Welcome to RIA NYC, where eager to learn entrepreneurs become wealthy and happy to teach investors. Nothing happens until you decide to change your life. Oh, and do it in great company. Call us today and build your empire.
Welcome back. You are tuned into Fiscally Fabulous Lifestyle with Dr. Teresa Martin. We have been unpacking some gems on nonprofit organizations. And before the break, we were talking about nonprofit non-compliance. So, Keesha, we were talking about the number one offender of non-compliance in 501c3 is the business owner entrepreneur.
Yes.
Let's unpack that a little bit more.
Yes. So, like I was saying, a lot of entrepreneurs, they start nonprofits based on their passion, wanting to help the community.
Which is nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. It's absolutely wonderful to do. And, we look for our clients that need that help, in making a determination of how their nonprofit should be started, We like for them to come to us when they're making those decisions, so we could give them more information and resources so they could be more informed about how they set up their nonprofit. But the misconception that entrepreneurs have about forming nonprofits is that they can get a grant. I want to help the community do, have a housing shelter, or, a kids program, or what has been coming up lately, financial literacy programs, which is great, but how does it fit into the broader scale of what they're doing with their other businesses? So they may have a for-profit and then they have this nonprofit. And number one question that we ask is, how are you going to operate both? As an entrepreneur,
it's hard to operate one.
It's hard to operate one. And, how are you going to make sure that one is sustainable and the other you're making a profit? And that's the difference. The for-profit, you're making a profit. The nonprofit, you have to make sure that it's sustainable. Now, how are you going to get funding? How are you going to raise money? And the issue is, with for-profit business, you have to make your own investment, right? Nonprofit, the same. You can't go into nonprofits, get the 501c3 and say, okay, now it's time for me to get a grant. I need money for this program. It has to be some investment in that as well. So, and getting a grant is not guaranteed for any nonprofit, big or small. It's not, it's not guaranteed. And so you have to come up with alternative ways to raise the funding for your nonprofit.
And let me, when you said it's not guaranteed, a lot of times people believe that can you get a grant for a for-profit? Let's just get that out there.
No. I mean, there are, so you have certain corporations, they may have these projects, like FedEx, they may have, startup, 25,000, 100,000, things like that. But still, you have to show them how your business is going to grow as a result of their funding. So there are grant programs and projects and things like that. That corporate sponsorship, let's go for lack of better words, for a traditional foundation will not fund a for-profit business unless the for-profit is collaborating with the nonprofit.
And that's what we were talking about before, about the for-profit and what your actual vision is for your nonprofit, your passion project.
Exactly. Right. So if I have a nonprofit, say we're doing housing or real estate, and I partner with your company, right? We would have to write in our proposals, we're partnering with this company that has the experience. It's a collaboration. This is how they're going to help us reach our goals and fulfill our mission. And in that, that grant, however that's worked out within the collaboration, yes. But for a for-profit to go for funding in philanthropy, it's rare.
Is it a good idea for us to, let's just say, I do have a good passion to do something. All I have is a for-profit. How would I, a for-profit company, partner with a nonprofit company so that I can, render services or whatever without me having to do my own nonprofit and partner and, be able to take advantage of, maybe they got a grant or whatever the case may be, because I really do want to do financial literacy or what have you.
The best way to do that is to research in your community, find out which organizations are doing the type of work that you have, a passion for, the type of work that you have passion for, or similar, in what you're doing, the type of work, and reach out and make sure that whatever service and product that you're offering to that nonprofit is aligned with their mission and with the activities that they're doing. And it is great, for folks to collaborate, because the type of work and experience that you may bring as a for-profit into a nonprofit is actually helping them, not financially, but in kind. So that's something that they could include in their growth strategy. Working with a for-profit or own business owner that has the skills and the ability to mentor or coach, those that are part of the nonprofit, and bringing that value to the nonprofit as well.
And one of the things that I want to, before we just get all off track, I just want to make sure our audience know who do you work with and how they get in contact with you.
Who do I work with as far as my team? Well,
no, who do you work with as far as helping?
With helping. Nonprofits, for-profits, the entrepreneur, the solopreneur, and mid-size, small to mid-size. And we do business planning, which I feel is every business, nonprofit, for-profit, business plan, and nonprofit world may be called a strategic plan. It's still a plan. You have to research it. We help folks with business planning. We also provide brainstorming sessions. We have packages where we can sit down with the executives and the leadership of the team and just brainstorm the ideas, and we help with strategy.
And how do they reach out to you? How do they get you?
Sure. You can go to our website. It's K Gibson, www.kgibsonllc.com. You can reach us there. Check out our About page. You can see the team and who we work with and the companies that they work for.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Keesha, I'm so excited about, just having you here and just sharing that information. I am so happy that you had the opportunity to get blessed like I was blessed about your nonprofit business is a business. You have been watching Fiscally Fabulous. We are the lifestyle show for all things real estate, all things business, and all things legal.
So much has changed in the world, and reasons for legal counsel are many. With the law offices of Teresa R. Martin, PC, you walk in looking for solutions, but when you walk out with a growth mission and a support network. Get an attorney in real estate and business who knows and understands how to eliminate debt. Teresa has built an empire designed to grow businesses and strengthen communities. martinlegal.com.
Welcome back to Fiscally Fabulous with Dr. Teresa. This has been a fantastic episode. Keesha, thank you so much for the information that you shared on this episode. Can you please give us that information on how we contact you again?
Sure. You could reach us at www.kgibsonllc.com. You could email us and contact us through the website.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This has been a fantastic episode, and I wish we had more time to unpack more things, but this is what you get when you join Fiscally Fabulous. We'll be right back after these messages.
Are you a woman in business or real estate? Looking to make the most of your income and create generational wealth? Then the GW5 Implementation Conference is for you. On November 10th through 12th, 2023, at the Westchester Marriott in Tarrytown, New York, we'll be hosting a must-attend experience for women looking to create and maintain generational wealth. You'll get to interact with certified business professionals who'll teach you how to protect your assets, reduce your taxes, and increase your wealth. Just register today at GW5conference.com. It's not just a conference, it's a movement.
You have tuned in to Fiscally Fabulous Lifestyle with Dr. Teresa. I am so excited that you joined me on this episode. This is the place, all things real estate, all things business, all things legal. This is the place where you come and unpack all the information that you can't get elsewhere, because I'm going to share with my guests their experiences, their success stories, and their obstacles. That's some of the things that we will be discussing on this show. Totally transparent. So if I misspeak, then you know you can do it too. So I want you to tune in, same time, same place, and invite a friend. You are Fiscally Fabulous. Don't forget that.
This has been Fiscally Fabulous with Dr. Teresa R. Martin, Esquire. If you would like to learn more on how you can build generational wealth and leave a lasting legacy, go to www.enjoyyourlegacy.com and be sure to subscribe. Thank you for listening. Until next time.